Today I am here with Alberto Cabas Vidani.
Yeah, right. Correct.
Yeah? Good. It's not a very common name, let's put it that way. And you are also a coach on Coachdotme, but you have been coaching on your own side for a longer time. And you started your own personal website in 2010, or was it 10 years ago, I believe, 10 years ago? No, 2010, yes. Photo com fare.
Yeah. It's like photo how to in English.
And how did you, because I have some background in creating content and trying to make money from it. How did you get to this idea of creating a website and publishing? Who was your great inspirator?
I was I thought I wanted to be a researcher in computer science, but my Ph.D. experience was destroyed by my dreams. I didn't like the environment, and maybe I didn't like to work for someone else overall. And so I started looking around, and I had a very unoriginal experience because I stumbled upon the 4-hour work week. At the time, it was very, very famous. It was 2009, I think. And so I learned about building your solo business and leveraging outsourcing. And so I started thinking, okay, if I have to work on my computer all day, I can do it at home. What I can do from home. And then after many searches, I found out that many bloggers were teaching what they know and making a lot of money, and American bloggers at the time. And one of the things I was very involved in at the time was photography. I just discovered photography, but I learned a lot in a few months. And so I made I also liked teaching. I knew I was a good teacher, and so I thought, okay, I can write and teach what I learned about photography. Why photography? Because I found a very famous blog about photography. It was it still exists. Digital Photography School, and it was a great business example. It was selling ebooks mainly. And so I looked in the Italian market. There was no decent competitor. And I started publishing tutorials. They immediately got traction, both in terms of SEO traffic and comments. I started receiving comments saying that I finally made the things simple. So it was a great confirmation of at least that I could do it. And I started there. Then I co-founded another site, which is the one where I have some coaching clients, which wants to help other people create their own courses and create their own content. And the market here is far smaller than we hoped. So now I'm building my profile in English. I started recently. This is very briefly my last.
Don't worry, we'll go in detail. So when I started blogging in 2005, Darren Rowse,
Digital Photography School,
was my great example. So I didn't choose the same topic, but Darren Rowse, the way and because he had this digital photography school, but he also had this blog about photos and he had ProBlogger. So I read ProBlogger because I wasn't really that interested in cameras. But there I learned a lot about all these, ways of monetizing your blog. And I did. And for me, it was a great way to, go into the details of researching and also finding ways how a blog can be very beneficial to your business. So I found that content marketing was a great way to attract clients to your business. So that's the direction I choose instead of creating my own content. Well, I did create content, but not for making money. I created content to attract clients.
Yeah, yeah.
And you went to the university and studied, computer science, but your last study was philosophy.
No. I studied computer science, and then I did a PhD in computer science.
Oh, okay. So I didn't get that right. So why did you choose computer science? Why was computer science for you so important when you were young?
I fell in love with computers early because I think because my parents bought a Commodore 64. I don't know, in 80 something. I never I never tried to. I only played video games with it. But my father had always. He worked in sales, but he needed a PC early, mainly to do some. I think to manage customer data, client data. I don't remember. So we had we always had a PC at home very early, and a relative gifted me a modem when I was in middle school. So it was very in middle school for me. It meant mid 90s. I think I had my first modem, and Italy almost skipped the .com bubble. So I was one of the only between my classmates. I think I was the only one having a modem at a certain point, and using it to browse the web daily. And so I think I was fascinated by the amplification capabilities of the PCs. It seemed like I could do anything. I could amplify my skills through a PC, and mainly programming, writing programs, software was the best way for me to bring something to life. You write an app, and then anyone can use it, and it has its own life. Finally, I didn't end up writing code for a living, but that was my main motivation at the time.
I remember the age of Commodore. I didn't have one. We had an Atari, so
Okay.
I wasn't at the camp. And also, what baud rate was your modem? I remember I had like a 14K or something at some point.
No, it was already a 50. What was 56.8? I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that. Yes, right.
The fastest one.
Yeah, I know. That's unbelievable today, right? So it's so amazing. Like you had like 20 megabytes of hard disk, right? So that was
yeah,
it was just unbelievable. You had these diskettes where these tapes where the program was on, and you had to load the whole program first.
the tapes there were horrible. Yeah, because that you had to rewind them to the right exact point where you can load the game you wanted. Yeah, and they simply didn't work sometimes.
Yeah. It's especially frustrating when you had already spent like 10 minutes waiting for the pod to
Yeah, it was slow. Yeah.
So when I started programming, it was like BASIC and C++ and so on, and I started creating these software programs during my holidays and doing my holiday work, and I have this issue. I thought it was an issue. So I was working in during the summer. I was working at a small company, and so I was like working 8 hours. But during lunchtime, I went home to have lunch. that was still normal in those days. And so I started programming in the morning before I went to my job, and then I did the same thing during lunch, and I did the same thing when I came back. So I was just always trying to. And while I was at work, I was thinking what went wrong. What steps do I need to correct, and so on. So I thought, so this is a dangerous combination for me. I don't want to be in that situation, so stressful for the rest of my life. That's when I decided to not go into programming. What was for you the breakup with computer science?
No, I was very. I think maybe it's a too strong a word, but I was traumatized by the experience. I really wanted to become a researcher. I liked the idea of working at the cutting edge of technology, teaching. I like the idea of teaching and going to conferences. But at least my university was very small. There was very little money. We couldn't work at the cutting edge of innovation because we didn't have the money for the machines and to pay for people to do the small tasks. So I had to waste a lot of time doing things that weren't research, just the basic things, and the people they were not good to work with. So altogether, I finished my PhD, but I flee university. And here in Italy, the programmers are not. The value of programmers is not recognized. So I see in the English-speaking world, but not just that developers are paid very well. In Italy, I think they pay their. I think they get paid 1/3, 1/4 of what I see. Maybe less, because in general salaries are very low in Italy compared to the cost of living. And so it was not a glamorous idea, but I got more in love with the idea of becoming a content creator. It was not the term in 2010, but it was just that, creating content and monetizing it in several ways. And then I did a lot of experiments. I lost my way, and now I'm spending most of my time creating content and trying to get back to what really makes me resonate.
I still want to go a little bit more deeper into this computer science thing from you to get to know you a bit better. So what is, for people, I'm from Europe, so I know, but a lot of people listening don't know, how many people do live in Italy?
65 million, I think.
How many people worldwide do speak Italian?
I don't know. Not many more than
65.
the Italian citizens. Yeah.
So that's an important point, is that 65 million. It's a pretty, that's a large sample size, but still, if you compare it to English, it's not, right? So it has its advantages and disadvantages, right? So if you write something, you have a potential audience of 65 million Italian-speaking people, but on the other hand, you have a niche, right? So there's less competition, so you can carve out your own niche pretty fast. That's what you've noticed when you're building your photography blog, is there was not a lot of competition, and you could be an expert in your language pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you mentioned that the earnings in Italy are lower compared to international standards.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about, what were your thoughts about making money as a content creator in Italian? Was there a future? Did you think there was a future? How did you see this?
So in hindsight, I think I got distracted by. I was listening to a lot of podcasts in English about business, and I thought, okay, I want to bring the same thing in Italy. There was a no business podcast when I co-founded the second site, and I co-founded it because I wanted to create an interview podcast. And I found another guy already doing it. I thought, okay, the market is so small. It's stupid to create competition, and maybe joining him. I also like the idea to work with another person instead of completely alone, and so I joined him. But maybe I should have stuck with my photography site for a little longer. I had a quick growth in both in views and in earnings from the start. Then things stalled, as often happens. Things plateaued, and then maybe I should have thought how to better use my list, my videos. I was really one of, or maybe the most visited site with photography tutorials in Italy at the time. But I had this another project, and I wanted to go with that, and that probably cut the potential for the photography site. And after some years, I don't know, maybe 5 videos started getting traction in Italy, and as you may guess, video for photography is far better than text, because you can see the photographer doing things, you can see the photos, and so all photography blogs started getting less traffic, and now what I have now is a fraction of what I had a few years ago. So maybe the potential was there to make a lot of money, but I got distracted by the other idea. Then I had 2 projects at the same time. It was a bit, and I couldn't do enough for my photography project. So I shot myself in the foot at the time. On the other on the site for content creators, let's call it that. Instead, the market is far more. It's yeah. There are far less people for the in that audience, because you can see it in the if you do a little keyword research, that maybe the largest keyword for the second site is gets, I don't know, 9,000 views per month, per 9,000 searches per month, where talking about photography, I had far larger keywords, because, well, many more people want to shoot great photographs compared to the people who want to create an online business, mainly in Italy. And then we also found out that the aversion to risk in Italy is far worse than we thought. So there are curious people, there are people looking for quick ways to make money online, but the serious ones, the ones that want to really start their business, or grow, bring their business, their offline business online, because we have part of our audience are professionals who already have a business. The number of these people is very limited, and when we started looking deeper into the English-speaking market, we saw that also the our potential audience has far less money than we thought. So it's hard to sell, for example, consulting for the prices we saw in the English-speaking market, and this together with the small market, we can't sell for high prices. We have a very small market, and so it's hard to make things work.
So just to give you some counter perspective, the Netherlands has like 17 million, 17 inhabitants.
Okay.
I
didn't
there's
know.
probably like 19 million people in the world that speak Dutch.
Yeah.
So that market is even smaller.
Yeah.
So I had similar struggles many times in my career. I've tried to switch to English and then I switched back to Dutch. So I think this is something that content creators struggle with a lot. Like you're building a platform, you're very enthusiastic about a topic, it's growing, then at some point it plateaus, and some new exciting project pops right into your face and just cries for attention, and you switch, you make the move, and you go start doing something different. How do you, because you teach people to write content, you write content now, Medium, in English. How do you help people through that phase of determining what their topic is and how they can stick to the topic to make it work for them?
Let me think, because most of my clients already have a topic, because they already the paying client. Most of my paying clients already had their clients, so they already knew what their major topic. Maybe I don't know, computer programming or growing on Instagram. So they usually didn't have. I'm trying to think of some cases where they didn't know what to talk about. But no, usually they are just. I'm trying to think, but usually they may be undecided between some subtopics of what of the general topic they already know, the area where they work in. But in any case, I say we because I work with my co-founder. Usually, one thing is that often the initial decision is less important than you think, because unless you choose some strange topic no one is talking about, there can be an audience. But we start from, okay, look online and see if there is something about what look for the keywords you want to talk about, the general keywords. And if you find competitors, okay, there's an audience, competitors that have some kind of signals, I don't know, likes, shares, views. It depends on the platform. If you find competitors that have some kind of following, there's people online reading or watching, consuming content in that area. And then what we suggest is to start from a list of problems. and think of the problems they can solve with their business, they want to solve with their business. Usually we invite them to write a long list, at least 50 ideas, because they stop earlier and then don't explore the area deep enough. And then when they have this list of topics, they maybe have a more precise idea of what they'd like to talk about. But what's true is that you can think for weeks about your niche, and then completely flop, because when you start writing, you understand what you like and what you are good at, and then you really understand the audience only when you meet the audience with your content. So what we try to focus on is, okay, do this generic research in the end, in the beginning, but then as soon as possible start publishing content, which is the more difficult part because a part of our audience are employees who want to, the usual profile of the employee who wants to start a business and has limited time because the work is never a part-time work. And the other part of the audience are professionals who are spending most of their time with their clients, and so they don't have time to create content because they need to work with clients, they need to get new clients, and so this is very hard because we saw in our case, but we studied many other creators. Until you publish 100 pieces of content, you don't understand what works, even though you know the exact story of all the competitors in your area, and until you start, you don't understand. So you need to write a lot of content without results for a lot of time, and this scares people and seems a waste of time, especially in Italy, where you don't have, where the market is so small. Then it's very hard to push out a video and get 1 million views. It can happen in English, and it's hard, but in Italian, in certain niches, it's impossible. And so you have to gather very subtle feedback telling you, okay, this is a slightly better way, a slightly better sub-niche, a slightly better topic. So this is the main struggle. And so what we try to focus on the most efficient ways to build content, on fighting perfectionism, which makes the time to create content, which inflates the time to create content. And we have the luck that Italians, in many niches, Italians are not sophisticated consumers of content, so you can get away with very simple videos, for example, and still have good results. And we try to teach this. Okay, you don't need to perfect your first dozens of videos, dozens of posts, and just put them out and start gathering feedback. And so we focus on the techniques to make content creation faster.
What I think is, what I've heard a number of times, and I think is, very true is that you at least need like hundreds, 100 items, 100 videos, 100 posts, like at least write for a year before you know for sure that there is no or there is traction. And then you do this in a time when there's not a lot of viewers, there's not a lot of people liking your information, your articles or your videos, and you need to keep at it while there is no positive motivation or almost none. How do you keep your clients on writing? How do you make sure that they create content when they struggle in this valley of death?
Often we failed in this because we help them start and maybe increase the rate of production, but very few time they were able to keep going, sadly. What we tried, we tried to focus on what was in their control. That is, yeah, it seems it's the same thing I said earlier. So they only have control on what they want to talk about, and so they can choose. They should choose what they like to talk
Correct.
about. So at least they have the motivation to share something they like. And then the speed of content creation. Also the platform may they choose may change things, because if you hate Facebook, maybe avoid creating content on Facebook. Unfortunately, in Italy, Twitter doesn't work, Medium doesn't work.
You mean it doesn't work because you don't get it, or it doesn't work because
And there's no Italian content on
right,
Medium,
right.
and Italians don't read, aren't very good readers, and and neither very good writers, but people don't notice. So we have newsletters are less trendy than in the English-speaking market. So there are fewer channels, but yeah, you can still have some success with a blog. There's Instagram, and obviously YouTube and TikTok. They work. Yeah. So you can choose the platform that makes the experience better, and another yeah, and you can focus on the small wins. So there are the process wins, in the sense that maybe the first time you to record a 1 minute video, it takes 1 hour, and the next time 50 minutes, and so on. And maybe these are small wins that can push you forward. And then you need to cut down your expectations and appreciate the small wins in terms of views or any kind of metric you can track on the platform you chose. There's no secret weapon to make it funnier than it is in the beginning.
You have been writing on Medium now for some time. I'll get back to that. So you've been writing on Medium for some time now, and you've been building your audience, and you're increasing your readership and the number of views you're getting. How do you feel that Medium works for you? How do you make sure that you can keep that cadence of producing?
I never had throughout my life. I've been very disciplined, to my detriment sometimes, oftentimes, and so I I tasted the potential of the English market. I saw how much larger is than what anything I experienced in Italian. So I really want to make it work, and this is great motivation to keep going. But then I love teaching, sharing what I know. And recently I also learned that I love telling stories. I'm not very good. I'm a better teacher than a storyteller, but this is another motivation. I want to learn storytelling, and Medium is a great place because Medium readers love storytelling, even within tutorials. So it's a great combination.
Great.
And Medium as a great is an example of gamification for me, because you have so many different kinds of feedback you can get on your writing. Readers on Medium reply, comment. Blog comments are dead, have been dead for many years, but on Medium people still reply. Then there are claps, then there are views, obviously, and then there are earnings, which don't hurt. And also, I joined a couple of communities. I bought a couple of writing courses, and they came with a community. It's the main reason why I bought. And the communities are active, and people there are all on the same journey and sharing their struggles and then wins. And some of them are my fans, so it helps keep writing. The growth is very slow, but it's there. And 2 days ago, one of my articles got boosted, and it's getting a lot of views I didn't expect. So this will be a good month, because with views come new followers. Those followers will get my new subscribers. It works, and I'm getting monthly. I'm getting, I think, 3 times the new followers. Yeah, 3 times the followers that I'm getting on my Italian YouTube channel, which has been active for 5 years, 4 years. And so the potential is so large. Then I could start repurposing my written content. For now, I didn't take the time, but it would be easy to repurpose it on LinkedIn or Twitter. And I've seen what a good content calendar can make there. So it's hard to because it's growing slowly. And a few years back, Medium was faster. Was writers on Medium were exploding in terms of views and earnings. It's not like that anymore, but there's still it's still a good a channel for people who write.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get a quick view on what you do. This is your profile on Coachdotme. This is where you help people to write. How do you use the chat-based coaching in your writing coaching?
Which kind of coaching?
The chat-based. So how, because
chat-based, yeah. I think chat is I discovered chat-based coaching on Coach.me, because I don't know if there's anyone else doing it. And I think it's great for writers, for content creators in general, but for writers in particular, because every author in history has said that you have to sit down and write every day if you want to be a good writer. And through chat, I can really first understand what's what the blocks, what's blocking the writer, the aspiring writer usually has already has still to build the writing habit. And through several exchanges, I can go deep in what blocks her. And when I get to the root of the problem, I can propose a better solution. But then I use the chat to prompt daily or almost daily the clients to remind them to, for example, to do the exercises I propose them. For example, research or outline, or write 100 words. What was the whatever was the assignment. And yeah, and through chat they also can submit the what they wrote, which is an additional benefit of using it for writers in particular. Yeah, I like that chat is conducive to short messages, to brief interactions, to frequent interactions, and this makes the relationship more granular and more frequent, more intimate in a way, instead of having a long call once per month. And obviously, then the client pays less, and this is more affordable, especially for a person that still has to get into the habit, and so probably is not making money from writing, which often is the goal, and can't afford a more expensive traditional coaching contract.
Right. So for people who want to visit your profile, they can use the QR code that is in the video that you can see in the video right now. Also, the link to your profile is at the bottom. So that's good. Let's close it up. I have one final question for you.
Okay.
Because I've seen you writing a bit about this. And how do you think about, and my guess is that this is a question that's been asked a lot lately. What do you think about like AI and GPT in the works of content creation? Because now it's going to be very easy for people to create content which is not original. It looks original, but it's not theirs. It's just coming from the machine. What do you feel? Is it a opportunity? Is it a threat? How do you see that?
So first of all, the great problem is that we don't know where AI is going. At least we don't know how good it can become. So every projection is wrong. What I think, I know for sure, because it's already happening, that people writing blog posts for $10 will be pushed out of the market. But that content isn't valuable. It wasn't valuable before ChatGPT. It just can work for SEO purposes, for example, and so some companies still kept paying for that kind of content. What I think, and I hope is not just hope, is that people will keep craving stories written by real people, and will want to be sure, we want the guarantee that that content has been written by real people. So even if in the future AI will be so good that AI content will be indistinguishable from human written content, human content, I don't know how to call it, even though it will be indistinguishable. Maybe we'll create some kind of blue check mark to guarantee that a post has been written, tells the real story of a real person. I think that people, I personally can't learn anything from a story that's been made up from AI. So when you read the 10th, the 100th article about I don't know, parenting, you read it because you really care about that and you want to know the nuances of the experience of a real person. And so this motivation, I think this motivation will never die and will be the reason why human content creators still have a future. Then this doesn't mean that those human creators shouldn't use AI to improve their language or rephrase maybe do research. Yeah, that is another. I think writers or creators in general who want will have to use AI if they want to keep creating at the right pace and be paid for that if they are freelancers. Yeah, this will happen, but it will. AI will be the assistant, the content creation assistant, and not replace good creators, skilled creators. I think so.
I've been
I think that.
reading not all of them, but a number of posts by Ray Katz. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but she's writing on Substack. So they're also, if you become a subscriber, you pay like, I think it's $5 a month, and you get all the episodes, all the real posts. And she writes like a real person. So she writes stories, and she writes on topics that are, that are interesting and you want to learn about. And I think that's what people want, right? We crave these stories of factual life, of how people survive in a difficult environment or in a difficult situation, and try to help these people lift us up to make our own life bearable or even better. So I understand that looking for content creators, if you are a content creator and you want to make sure that you survive in this very competitive world, things help. Like if you have like a coach like you and use like chat-based coaching, you have like daily reminders, daily triggers to help you to write or create content every day. It's good to be in a community, in a group of people who you can learn from, who can help you to be your fan, to promote your posts. So you become better, but you also have like a community, and you have commitment, you have accountability. I think that's important. And as you mentioned before, there's a couple of things that are important, is that you have to find a way to get traction into your niche that you are writing in. So keep writing and changing a bit to find, so what is your level? What people do you want to attract? What people do you attract? And have like a list of 50, 100 topics that you can write about. So you have like ideas for content that you can push for every day. That's similar things that I use a lot in the work that I do as well. So for me, that's interesting, and I think it works a lot. So thank you very much, Alberto, to clarify this and help us. And even if you're not a content creator on per se, you want to use content to, for example, improve the number of clients you get for your coaching business, to become more visible with your coaching business, right? You don't want to maybe make money from the content, but you want to make money from coaching. Yeah. Content is a great way to attract clients. So writing is a good opportunity, even if it's not on Medium, if it's on your own blog, of creating videos, creating posts on TikTok or on Instagram.
Newsletters, yeah.
And don't do them all. Right, choose one of those platforms where you feel comfortable, and just make an effort to create a rhythm that fits your lifestyle, but keep the rhythm. Make sure that you have enough topic and content that you can keep the rhythm, because that is what is important. That people, once they follow you, you know, if you don't write for 3 weeks, you drop off their plate, right? You vanish. So make sure that you keep in their eyesight, and that you keep on the list, and make sure that you keep continuing content. Alberto, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
For you viewers, watchers, this episode, of course, also again will be posted on the blog .coach.me. Every Monday we publish the ones that we've recorded every Friday. Thank you for joining us today, and also we'll see you next Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time and 4 p.m. European Time, Central European Time. So we'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.